Hello, my name is Mike Rinta, and I am a trombone player. I play the second trombone with the Pacific Mambo Orchestra. I also play with Jimmy Vaughn, and I've worked in the past with Sly and the Family Stone and all sorts of other people. I can drop a few names, but very grateful for for a good career. But anyway, so from my experience, what does it take to be a horn player in a salsa band rather than a jazz band? Well, I think the main difference is really just in sheer volume levels, because we're often, we're playing with a lot of percussion, and you want to be able to cut through and have a big sound and still sound good without really losing control of your sound. And I think in my career in Latin music, I think a lot of the reasons why people liked having me is because I was able to do that, as well as just being just a good reader and be able to play things and nail them first time. The trick to sight reading and all that is really about just don't get lost and don't trip out on any kind of mistakes that you might have made, because there can be like a whole downward spiral once that begins to happen. But as opposed to playing in a jazz band, you're usually playing a lot more quiet, a lot more controlled, and often you'll find that there's more dynamics that happen. Although dynamics do happen and are supposed to happen in Latin music, but I imagine a lot of that has to do with the skill of the musicians that you're working with too. So, I'd like to talk a little bit about clave. I was very lucky early on to be working with some really talented percussion players who taught me a lot about the clave. It's ingrained deeply in salsa. It's as important to salsa as 2 and 4 is in jazz. That's jazz has that. That's where the swing comes from, and it's the same thing with the clave in Latin music. There's the 2-3 clave and the 3-2 clave. All the instruments, the rhythmic patterns at the bells, every instrument, their rhythmic patterns are based and will fit into that clave. And I would suggest just listening to as much Latin music as you can. There's this little thing called an iPod and some headphones, and I make it a point really to listen to a lot of music and even play along with recordings and stuff. And that's you can never do enough of that. Along with your regular practice routine of whatever you do to get your chops in shape on your horn. So anyway, Mike Rinta here signing out. Talk to y'all later.